So we're back again. 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 We're here to talk about the most recent Scooby Doo cartoon that we watched, and that is the new Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo show. Seriously, there were so many of these things throughout the years. I have to Google them to get the order in which they were released. Yeah, we at Kati Media will devote ourselves to watching all of Scooby Doo up until Mystery Incorporated. I think that's where it would be best to end this quest. I am Gibson Shamar, as you probably already know. If you don't, then you do now. We're going to talk about the characters of the show first, then the show itself. This shouldn't take long because these characters have already been talked about numerous times. Let's get into it. First, we have Scooby Doo, everybody's favorite Great Dane. He's a talking dog who has become very famous in the world of detectives. He is brown with black spots and has some weird R thing when he speaks. He's cowardly, loves food, is loyal to his friends, and somehow always gets the job done no matter how much he wants to run away from it at the start. Next up, we have the second character whose name is in the title, Scrappy Doo. He is a puppy and is Scooby's nephew. He loves to pick fights with the enemy and is abnormally strong for a puppy. He still uses his catchphrase, da-da-da-da-da-da, puppy power! Yeah, I see a lot of comments online talking about how they didn't like him or his catchphrase. I still don't get why, but okay. He's a more proactive character than Scooby when it comes to solving these mysteries, although in a weird way he's not as good as his uncle when it comes to stopping the bad guys. Then we have Shaggy. He's the owner of Scooby-Doo and, I guess by extension, Scrappy too. He is still the same coward we know and loves food. He still goes around with the folks solving mysteries and taking up weird jobs. He's pretty much the same as he has always been. And we have a surprise returning character, Daphne. She was absent in the previous show along with Fred and Velma. But she somehow returned. And this time, she is a bit different. She is more involved and pretty much takes over as the leader of the group. Yeah, that's right. She is curious, does proactive detective work. She is working as a journalist and chasing stories in this show, so it fits. She usually gets the group into the problems that they get caught up in because she is chasing a story. It's a very nice change of pace. So that's pretty much it on the characters. Simple, right? I know. When you have a show that's part of such an extensive continuity and it's being covered by one person, things tend to become very simple. Isn't that right, Dave Filoni? I'm going to start by saying that this show is better than the previous one in pretty much every way. It got back to its grounded take, or at least partly. They still deal with the genuine supernatural stuff, but at least it's not just wacky adventures that have no weight at all anymore. I mean, Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy met aliens, went to space and traveled to the future, and they didn't freak out or get traumatized or anything. They just went back to sleep or continued eating or whatever it is that they were doing before their adventure started. That was weird. At least here, we see a bit of the weight that their adventures have and the effect that they have on the characters. It's not as much as it would realistically be, but it's a step in the right direction. I also like that they brought Daphne back, especially because of the first episode. No, seriously. It was nice to see her again. The Scooby-Doo franchise started with the gang and it felt weird that they were all being forgotten because of the popularity of Scrappy making him more relevant. I'm just kidding. There were behind the scenes issues with the voice actors that made them part ways with the studio for a while. The first to agree to come back was Heather North, obviously the voice of Daphne. She was a very welcome addition, and this time she actually contributed to the main plot and had things to do. I think it was good for the character that she was the only one from the gang to come back for this show at the time. I think it gives her more space to be independent and have her own personality. She always felt tacked on in the previous shows. I like how the show updated its formula to something better as well. Now they go looking for problems to solve and we have a mixture of phonies and genuine ghouls. Daphne is always the skeptic though, taking Velma's place in the dynamic. Velma was always the skeptic. Now in this show it's Daphne. The updated visuals help as well. I won't say that the animation is better because that's just natural as time progresses. It wasn't so far out there compared to the previous show, but there was a very clear improvement. In fact, the previous show was a step down. This show actually got back on track, but was still not an improvement over the original show. We take what we can get. Hopefully, moving forward, things are better. Even though I have a lot of praise for the show, it doesn't mean that it isn't without problems that come up. I praised the animation, but then there was a very glaring scene that came up.
Aw, too bad. And I was going to give you a whole box of Scooby snacks.
A whole box? Well, why didn't you say so? Yummy.
Dude, that's just lazy. I mean, come on, man. You're getting paid for this stuff, unlike me. The way the show is structured was also bad, in my opinion. I don't like the thing of having more than one episode at a time. I like it when one episode is just one episode, not a two-parter. Again, it's an improvement over its predecessor. Its predecessor had 3 episodes, sometimes 2, sometimes 1. And a lot of the time, it wouldn't fit the 22-minute runtime it's supposed to have. At least this show did it with its 2 episodes. We still need to cut it back to 1 episode. I also like that it expanded more on the characters' family trees. We get to see Daphne's parents for the first time. She comes from a rich family. Her dad got rich off selling bubble bath. How? Dude, it's the 80s. I don't know how that generation worked. The important thing is that it did. We also get to see Shaggy's family. It turns out that he has a sister. Her name is Maggie. Yeah, I know. It was nice to see. His family is just like him. They're all cowards. And it turns out that even Scooby's parents are owned by Shaggy's family. Well, Grandpa Doo in the previous show lives on his own when he could be with his kids. Oh, well. Aside from Scooby's parents, we see that he has another cousin who dresses like a clown. I forgot his name. He's probably the most forgettable member of the Doo family, to be honest. But still, we discover that Shaggy's ancestor was a pilgrim and he came with Scooby's ancestor. Really interesting stuff. Scooby's exploits have gained him recognition in the detective world, and he is tested and inducted into an order of detectives in one of the episodes. That was nice to see. It's like the show has continuity, but it also plays loose with it, seeing the way these things happen where at one point it's deep and serious, then it's wacky and out there. There's also a newfound balance in characters. Scrappy doesn't outshine anyone, and we actually see Daphne interact with him on a regular basis, unlike in Scooby and Scrappy Doo, the first one. See, fans? He's not as bad as you. Well, fine then, keep hating him. There's nothing I can do about it. I just thought that maybe I could save Scrappy's reputation here.
Isn't that cute? But it's wrong!
Unbelievable. Well, that's all I have to say about the show. Please take your time to visit our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and scour our YouTube channel here. Ekati Media provides services of photography, filming, and screenwriting. If you need any of these services, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Have a good day. And don't worry, I didn't forget to bring up how I talk about the show where Daphne somehow returned coincides with Easter Sunday. It was all part of the grand design.